Hi, and welcome to this week's reading. I'm an Even Weirder Al, an Even Weirder Oracle, and I'm here to see what your guides have to say. You should have seen in the thumbnail we have 3 piles. Timestamps are in the description and should also show up if you fast forward. So pick your pile and let's go. Pile number 1, hello, and welcome to your reading. You picked Ocean, Sweet Success. Let's see what we've got here. There's something you've been trying to learn, knowledge you've been trying to gain, knowledge you've been trying to remember. This is something deep within you. This is, remembrance. It's remembering who you are and why you're here and what your purpose is. This is a really big undertaking. This is something you've been working on for quite a while, and it's something that you shouldn't dismiss because it's taken a lot of work. And it might not all be conscious work, but this is something you've been chipping it away at for a long time. Shape-shifting. Being able to see what you had forgotten has allowed you to shift and move and try new forms. And with that comes great blessings. So this journey was probably not easy. And I think it's really important that you honor what's happened on this journey, take into account the trials, the tribulations, the wins, every piece of it, honor it, forgive yourself and others and the parts of you that you've struggled with so that you can just let it go and move into something new. So you can expand, Jupiter's expansion. So you can expand and simultaneously let old things go, let them die. Mortification is dismantling old stories, old identities, old beliefs, and allowing it to become compost for the future, which it sounds like you've been doing. God, my glasses are really dirty. Every step counts. Move these up just a little bit. There's an advantage in taking things slowly. Breathe deeply and fully as you consider your options. This is something that you're easing into, you're opening up to. It's an unfolding for you. And everything you need to know, or the answers that you're seeking, are being given to you, but you need to quiet out what other people say and that kind of like excessive noise from others and from expectations and conformity, so that you can hear what the universe is telling you. Because you're being told exactly what it is, what your purpose is, why you're here, what you're doing. You're right where you need to be. This might be hard, that you might be feeling some big feelings here, but have faith that everything's going to work out the way that it's supposed to, and that whatever it is that you're worried about, the best possible outcome will come from it. Clearing the excess. So we're talking about, you're kind of in this transitional phase, this shape-shifting phase. You now have this remembrance that's going to allow you to shift into a new way of being. And so right now it's for clearing out the old stuff, both spiritually, mentally, physically. So that's more than both, but that's fine. It's about taking whatever is excessive, whatever exists outside of balance and moderation, and letting it go. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, the divine's bringing in messages and synchronicities. Make sure you're not trying to force or control this process, because this is bigger than you or your capacity to control. Don't ignore the messages that are being given to you. Be really pragmatic and strategic and maybe strategic in understanding where you might be avoiding some kind of truth that you know. So maybe as you're shape shifting, this remembrance has given you this ability to turn into something new. There's something you really don't want to let go of, and you're kind of avoiding the fact that you know you need to. It's relatable. We have mortification for the second time, necessary death and decay. Whatever this is that you're holding on to, it's supposed to die. It needs to die. It has to go. Advocate for yourself. Name the issue, what it is that's keeping you holding on to this. What purpose is this thing serving that's keeping you holding on? And take your power back from it, because you're giving your power away to something here. The answer is being connected to your inner world, taking care of yourself, moving with an abundance mindset, and being aware of where you might be lost in fear, where you might be lost in ego, where you might be lost in illusion, and how that illusion keeps you disconnected from balance within yourself, keeps you acting inauthentically, keeps you separate from others and from wholeness. Until you do this, you're going to be blocked from receiving what it is you're being given. There's a protector part of you that is holding on to whatever this is because it feels like you need it to be safe. You're a very sensitive person, and maybe this thing kind of gives you a sense of order, but you're avoiding the truth. We have this now twice, or maybe in denial about what it is, about what it is, about what it isn't, about what's working, about what's not. It's time to evolve. You have all of the things you need to do it. You just have to choose to do it. You have to choose to begin the process. And I know that this is easier said than done. I know that there's a lot of stuff just tied up in this. But I believe in you, and I know you can do it. I hope this landed for you. I hope that it, made sense or something kind of came through. Leave a comment. Tell me that you picked this pile and tell me what it meant. I can't wait to hear how this turns out for you. And I hope to see you next week. Bye. Pile number 2. Hello. You picked Mau Lisa with balance. Let's see what they have to say to you. You might be feeling a little disconnected from your vitality. Balance and moderation is how you connect with it. That's how you begin to move into something new. I feel like you've been kind of like teetering on this edge, like wanting to move towards something, but not quite being sure how to do it. This balance is the answer. When you connect to your vitality through balance, you're going to begin to find inspiration in the world around you. Interesting. You're going to be able to honor the parts of you that maybe have needed to go to get here. I think you're going to be connected to something deeper. There's also something here. This is like the devil in tarot. There's something here about honoring the passing of addiction to thought cycles, to experiences, to escapism. There's something here about balance, leading you into this newfound beginning filled with inspiration where you can honor the fact that you had to let these things go. There's something here about connecting with the dead, with connecting with something, someone, anyone beyond, maybe through your dreams. Yeah, connecting with someone who's with you on your journey. We're focusing on sweetness here, on simple pleasure that's not like manufactured. This is such an interesting reading. There's some kind of deep connection with a part of you and someone else. Yeah. You're shedding the old, this dead, whatever it is that's dying. There's this big change, but it's important that you have this sense of adventure, that you're connected with something deeper, but you're kind of curious and inspired to move forward into this new beginning. Take a few deep breaths and connect with your inner peace. Notice the small things and appreciate them. There's something very chaotic and excessive about the vibe of these cards for me. You might think you need to do this alone, both community-wise, but also spiritually. And maybe you're balancing this kind of like old you versus the new you, or escapism versus presence. Yeah, there's something very calculated here. There's something calculated, or maybe manipulative, but there's also this adversarial energy. I feel like it's between you and your shadow. And it's important that you honor or respect more than repress. Yeah, it's this part of you that's insatiable, this part of you that's trying to fill this void externally, find something outside of yourself. But communing with something bigger than yourself is how that's going to happen. And that's inside, that's internal. I almost think that there's a guide or someone walking with you on this path. Maybe it's a person who's here to show you a different way. I think it's an angel. Interesting. They want you to see the unseen, see this is definitely some kind of guide. I think it's an angel coming through. Wanting you, maybe feeling ignored. And maybe there's something really uncomfortable about connecting. I realize I'm not looking at the camera a ton during this reading. There's something so encompassing and rapturing with this that I'm stuck in it a little bit. You connect with this being internally, spiritually. Using discomfort to grow and expand. Until you lean into the discomfort of looking at the things you've been ignoring for some kind of external stimulation, you're going to feel very disconnected. The union is about finding internal wholeness. There's an inauthenticity to it. You're hiding from yourself and from the divine here in some way. asking you to like romanticize this practice. Because right now you're kind of stagnant. You're stuck in dissociating. I mean, literally right below it, there's this self-neglect happening. And it's rooted in a fear of your own power. There's this rigid thinking. You're kind of isolating yourself a little bit from maybe not only the outside world, but from like the spiritual world as well. There's more to find if you're willing to open up to it. But it involves finding balance between the things you do to escape life and showing up at least spiritually present. To move into deeper love and self-acceptance. But right now you're missing information. There are beings that want to collaborate with you, that want to work together, but you're kind of ignoring them. It's important that you see that there's this lack of vulnerability here, this lack of being in your feminine energy enough to receive and to intuit what they're telling you. You don't know everything here, and they're trying to help you see the rest. So right now, your focus is on balance, balancing the material with the spiritual, balancing escapism with presence, balancing what your soul needs from what your ego desires. I have a feeling you might be very overwhelmed by this. I'm feeling this whole body overwhelm. And I'm sorry, that really sucks. And I can relate. So if you want, leave a comment. Tell me how this landed. Tell me what it felt like. Tell me what you need. Let's chat. And I hope to see you next week. Bye. Pile number 3. Hello and welcome. You picked Apollo with Divine Message. Let's see what we got here. I'm already feeling a little bit, the last reading was very intense. It was very all over the place. And it's interesting to like feel the shift as I come into this one. We have valor, this strength of purpose, this showing up with integrity, and shadow work. I almost see you like putting on your armor as you move into the darkness and honoring darkness as a path to wholeness. Yeah, I talked about that purpose that, oh, the sun just came out. I want to acknowledge that we talked about this going into the shadow, and as purpose appeared, the sun came through and you can see the reflection of my window panes. That's so cool. There's something here about using that darkness to find wholeness, to find a sense of purpose. There's something in there for you. But there's some kind of belief that you have, that you've probably had for quite a while, since childhood, that kind of stops you from showing up 100% of the time. And it's time to be able to see that and forgive it. Something's going on right now that probably sucks. It feels like it sucks, but it's actually a great gift. And this is also about having a both and mentality. That, you know, darkness can be scary, it can be unknown, but it can also lead to light, it can lead to wholeness. It's important, it's crucial. Being able to go into your shadow and embrace it is crucial to connect with purpose. Spring, whatever this is that's happening, you don't have to make it happen. It's happening. This is a timeless reading, but as I film it, tomorrow is a full solar eclipse in Leo. And for me, it's in the 10th house. There's something here about it's all unfolding the way that it's supposed to. Your job is to show up with integrity, to show up with your armor ready to go, ready to walk into the dark. And rediscover your zeal. I love that. Pay attention to the passion you're feeling for discovery, learning, exploration, spirituality, travel, your work, or your relationship. Passion and desire go together, especially as inspiration. I think that you have spent a lot of time in the darkness and you're connected to purpose in a way that maybe you haven't been, or to the depth that you haven't been before. And so you're returning to this place of where you were before the world told you weren't that. Sorry, I just hit the mic. And even though it's a hard process, you're going to find yourself again. It's about accepting, adapting, adjusting to this new being that's coming through. And, tending to the sacred details of life, connecting to the everything. I feel like it's important that you know that you've made it to a checkpoint. You've made it through a specific trial. And it's interesting because, like I was saying about the eclipse, we're entering a new north-south node kind of axis happening in Western astrology, in these eclipses, which is kind of like a season premiere of a new story that you'll be playing out for 2 years. So you made it to the checkpoint with a bunch of new knowledge about yourself and your purpose. It's important that you take time to rest and find some solitude. Take time to be in the present moment and just be while this all unfolds for you. Because like I said, there's no forcing that has to happen here. The bulbs burst on their own. This has been something you've been doing in collaboration with the universe, finding your director energy, this self-direction, this authenticity, this resourcefulness. You've connected with something completely new. And it's important to just be strategic about how you move in this portal, how you move in this transition as you find yourself again. You maybe felt pretty disconnected from yourself for a while. There might be something here that you're struggling to let go of. It could be an identity, something you've attached yourself to. And it might not be something you're super aware of, but it is blocking you from expanding. Yeah, it's preventing you from reaching this sense of wholeness. And it's keeping you a little stagnant. I can't help but think that this has to do with the part of you that wants to force to control to make happen. Tell me more about the identity. So this is a transactional conditional love. And honesty and alignment with the true self. There's almost like a conditional acceptance of a part of yourself that's keeping you out of alignment. And it has to do with the part of you that makes things happen. Your masculine energy, your security, your foundation. So there's some discomfort, and discomfort's where life is trying to break through to you. And with the discomfort, it's important that you lean into that productive pain so that you can grow and expand. Let's see if there's any last things they want to add here. Oh, quite a few things. Okay. So it's important to think outside of the box here right now. There's this obstruction to you moving into whatever it is you're trying to go into comes from this self-neglect, from old habits and self-sabotage that's coming to the surface, and maybe the parts of your shadow that you're rejecting. So it's really important that you kind of go within and look at what this stuff is, and ask, what is this showing me about myself and the world and what I want from myself and from the world? The repression, rejection of this part of you, instead of trying to see what it's showing you, is kind of keeping you in your monkey mind a little bit. So it's important that you lean into seeing what you can learn from this part of you instead of rejecting it. It's showing you something. It's not just there to make your life hard. It is showing you something about yourself and about how you show up in the world. The answer to all of this is inside of you. I saw a butterfly fly by the window. The answer is inside you. And don't worry, you haven't been wasting time. It's all necessary. Oh, it's a hornet. Okay. Interesting. I have hornets show up a lot when it comes to facing fears. So maybe you're afraid to admit that this part of you exists, or maybe you're afraid to sit with it. But it's time to face that, because you've made it this far. Oh my God. Look. Valor. Be strong. Be in integrity. Wow. I hope this was helpful. I hope it landed. It felt a little all over the place, but I think the message was clear. Leave a comment and let me know. And if anything, I hope to see you next week.